Hello, football fans. Let's talk about the National Football Conference. It's a wonderful mess, isn't it? This year was really insane, and I think we're getting a bit more than that and a little bit of doubling down this year. So, the NFC, quite a few things can be clinched, but not everything can be solved, unlike in the American Football Conference. That's why I had to separate these TikToks for this week's scenarios by conference, and I had to do the same for my vocal story. My vocal story about the NFC scenarios is right up there. There's the link right up there. Check it out when you can. But yeah, let's dive into the National Football Conference and see what's happening there with 3 weeks left. As you can see, we have a bit of a change within the guard, just a bit, not a whole lot. Detroit's long winning streak ended at home against the Bills, and with the Eagles and Vikings winning that same week, there's really a three-way tie for the number one seed. Though Detroit has it because they have tiebreakers over both teams, so Detroit's still number one, Philly's number two, and at 3 and 4, we kind of have a bit of a change there too. The Buccaneers have moved up to the third spot at 8-6, and the new NFC West leader entering this week, the LA Rams, also at 8-6, but the Buccaneers have a tiebreaker over them. As far as the wild cards, Minnesota still number 5, but again they're tied for that NFC North lead. At the 6th spot, the Green Bay Packers, who improved to 10-4, and at the 7th spot, it's the Washington Commanders, who are 9-5. Below that playoff line, the Seattle Seahawks also, but the Rams have that one victory over them that gives the Rams that tiebreaker, puts them in first place. These same two teams, Seattle and LA, they play each other in the final week. That could end the season. A bit more on that later. Also, we have the Falcons and the Cardinals at 7-7. Each team's trying to keep in pace in their respective divisions. The Niners and the Cowboys are all hanging by a thread and pretty much on life support. They could be eliminated this week. So can the Saints at 5-9, and really so can the Cardinals. So yeah, 4 teams in the NFC can be eliminated. But that's the story. That's the story involving the standings. Now let's talk about who can get in from the NFC this week. Of course, the NFC East is still kind of up for grabs. The Eagles had a chance to clinch the division last week. They won, but so did Washington. But even so, that makes their scenario easier, very easy, because this week it's the Eagles and Commanders playing each other this week, and Philly's scenario is simple: beat them or tie them, and they get the East, just like that. It's always good to control your own destiny, isn't it? We had a chance to clinch last week, but we needed the Rams and Niners game to end tied, and though it kind of looked like it would, low score, it didn't happen. But even if your scenario doesn't work out, if you win, that allows you to get in the following week with a simpler scenario. At times, you can control your own destiny, winning in. As far as the Packers, that's exactly what's happening with us. The Packers have a second chance to clinch, and all you have to do, win or tie. That's it. Now the Packers end Week 16 with a Monday night game at Lambeau against the Saints, which means we can actually clinch before we take the field that Monday. If the Falcons lose or tie, and either the Seahawks or Rams lose and tie, we get it. We clinch that Sunday before we take the field that Monday. And that means we Packer fans got to root for New York, both of them. Falcons play the Giants, Rams play the Jets, and that's what I'm pulling for, because Seattle plays Minnesota. So yeah, not going for the Vikings there. Now you see what happens when you get rid of a racist name, a toxic owner, and draft a good quarterback. You can get in the playoffs in Week 16. Though the Commanders do not control their own destiny, but still, they can get in. That's the important thing. Now, as I said before, the Commanders and Eagles face each other. The Commanders are at home. Now, if they win that game, they'll need Atlanta to lose or tie, and either the Seahawks or Rams to lose and tie. That'll get them in. If Washington ties Philly, well, Philly will win the division if that happens. But if that game ends tied, they'll need the Falcons to lose. They'll need the Cardinals to lose or tie, and either a Seattle loss and a Rams loss or tie, or a Seattle tie and a Rams loss. So yeah, Washington can get in, but even if the scenario doesn't work out, if they win their game, they'll most likely they can control their own destiny next week, week 17. So that's who can clinch. And if the Packers and Commanders both get in, that means the wild card slots will be filled at least. That means we'll have two divisions pretty much be do or die. Only the champion gets in. Let's talk about those. You see, people kind of bash these train wreck divisions, if you will, because they don't like the fact that such teams who win a division get awarded with a playoff spot and a home game. But I love them because I love the type of division like that because it's do or die. You got to win it to be in it. If you're finishing second, you're done. And think about it. Look how things are shaping up this year. If it wasn't for the South and West and the NFC being bad, there would be no possible storylines for the final week of the season. But yeah, the NFC South again is a mess. It's a wonderful mess. And we got Tampa lead at 8-6, Falcons are 7-7, and even the 5-9 Saints still have a chance. Isn't that something? The Saints, who missed the playoffs at 9-8 last year, can win the division 8-9. Oh boy, that's football. But anyway, so the Bucs have a simple scenario overall to win the division. They have to win out. Atlanta has to win out, and Tampa has a losing game, which would put those two in a tie, and Atlanta has a tiebreaker. They beat Tampa twice. The Saints, however, they need to win out. Atlanta has to lose out, and Tampa has to lose the next two. Tampa has to lose the next two, but the Saints are in Lambeau, so they're screwed. They can forget it. Tampa is in Dallas on Sunday Night Football, and Atlanta faces the Giants with Michael Penix Jr. starting. They're done with Cousins. They are done with Cousins, so we'll see how that plays out. But it should be interesting to see how this division plays out. I hope it does need the final week, but I don't know. It's going to be very interesting. Speaking of it, it's amazing that the NFC West is always interesting. And yeah, all four teams have a shot. Even the Niners have a shot, but it's a long shot. You know what the Niners at 6-8 need to do to win the division? Because the Rams and Seahawks, they play each other in the final week. What needs to happen for San Francisco to win the division? They have to win out. The Cardinals have to lose their next two because Arizona and San Francisco play each other. Rams and Seahawks have to lose their next two, and their head-to-head game at the end has to end tied. That's the only way the Niners can win the division. The only way. And they're eliminated with a loss. But Arizona, they need to win out, and Seattle has to lose twice. But the main battle in the West is between the Rams and the Seahawks. I said the Seahawks played. Yeah, again, I said the Seahawks played Minnesota, and the Rams played the Jets. Seattle needs to win out, and same goes for the Rams, really. Each team, whoever wins out between those two gets the division. It's going to be an interesting race, and I really hope Rams, Seahawks not only remains vital in the final week, I hope it serves as a Sunday Night Football finale on Week 18. And that is the madness known as the National Football Conference. Those are the scenarios that the NFC faces this week. I definitely hope we get in. I think we're going to clinch it this week. If you, as I said, the link to my story on Vocal, it's up above. Check it out where you can. So, if you like this video, click the like button. If you're on YouTube, click subscribe if you want more. If you're on TikTok, feel free to hit that follow button. And I'll be back to recap this week pretty early because Christmas time is coming, and that will start week 17. So, stay tuned.